And let's go now to Richard Roth, Democratic strategist and founder and partner of the Roth Law Firm, and Jennifer Kearns, contributor of the Daily Caller in the Hill. Jennifer, so President Trump saying, look, I'm not worried, the administration taking a role in this. Do you think that President Trump, the administration's doing enough?
Well, I do. And look, the facts remain this. Since the beginning, both President Trump and the CDC said this was more virulent than the flu, meaning more contagious, but not as impactful as the flu in terms of death rates and hospitalization. So we've seen a great many patients go through the coronavirus now and come out on the other side in good health. We need to see more of those stories, I think, coming out of the White House now. We certainly know who those patients are. They've been monitored by the CDC, and we ought to be encouraging those folks to come out and share those stories with the American people so that there is an additional level of comfort in America, because all we're seeing currently on the nightly news is this panic by the mainstream media, the shelves empty of toilet paper, empty of hand sanitizer, and not that many other guidelines coming out, because what else can you do other than just identify who the targets of this virus are and then wait and see how it spreads. And so good news would be helpful in this case.
Richard, I have a feeling you disagree.
I do disagree. I mean, the bottom line is that, it all started with the funding of the CDC originally, but when out of the gate, Donald Trump sat there with his gavel and said, I'm going to issue $2.5 billion for the coronavirus. And both the House and the Senate, Republicans, Democrats, said, that's not enough, Mr. Trump. We want $8.3 billion, almost 3 times the amount, more than 3 times the amount he wanted. And when he's in public, and when they say, are you worried about it? He said, I'm not concerned. Meanwhile, colleges are shutting down, school districts are shutting down. We have old age homes that are being quarantined. I agree that it's not as lethal as the Ebola virus, but this is a very serious concern. And what he's doing is he's not grabbing it. He's not grabbing, say, yes, I am concerned, and we have to do something about it. And here's what we're doing. By saying I'm not concerned, what he's saying is the only reason why I am concerned is because the market is falling, and it's falling fast, and that will hurt him down in November.
Well,
but that's not really that's not the issue. That shouldn't be the issue.
I think that's unfair to say the president is only concerned about the coronavirus because the markets are crashing. I think that's unfair.
Look,
and the reason he only requested the $2 billion plus, he knew exactly what was going to happen when he sent that bill down to the swamp, is they were going to add their own earmarks and add their own pork spending
Jennifer, the first thing he did was he said, I'm in charge of it. Let me give it to Mike Pence, because he's familiar with this. Mike Pence has a horrific history in his state of dealing with healthcare issues. So he punts. He punted in this one too.
Jennifer, I want to ask you, because the president, saying like, look, this is just Democrats. They're trying to sensationalize it. They're trying to make everyone, panicking. Do you think that this is Democrats really just doing that, or do you think it's a disease that's going around the world?
I do think there is ample reason for concern, especially for people 60 plus and people with an underlying health condition. But if you look on social media, you can see with your own eyes that the liberals are having a heyday with this, especially the pronouncement that there was a coronavirus person coming out of the CPAC conference. They're wishing that conservatives would die en masse, was one of the tweets I saw last night. So it is a case of Democrats not rooting, not for the president, but not rooting for Americans. And that's a terrible position to be in.
How does this turn political, though?
It shouldn't be political. Right. Northern Italy is shut down. Yeah. If you live in Milan, if you live in Venice, you can't take a train, you can't take a plane. There's no flights from LA and New York to Israel or to Italy. This is a world issue, and it shouldn't be political.
Richard,
it's a very serious issue.
Do you think that other countries are doing a better job at containing it than the U.S.? What should we be doing more of?
So the good news is that it's far worse in other countries like Iran, Israel, and Italy. Maybe the I countries, maybe for some reason. But the
there's no
bottom
I
line,
in team, Richard.
The bottom line is that he is not. It all starts with the president. And yes, we should be doing more. He should be out there. He should be offering more tests. He should be giving more money. He should be taking charge of it. There's a confusion as to who the chairman is, because he had Mike Pence take over something that was being done by the health administration. So it's a bit chaotic. And yes, I think we could be doing more. Thankfully, it's not as bad as other countries are. But countries are literally shutting down flights, shutting down trains, shutting down everything. And he's just sitting there. I'm not worried about it.
Right, but if you look at the what people should be doing, look at the state of California. Governor Gavin Newsom, typically an open borders guy, loves loves open borders, wants everyone to come here, but suddenly there's a cruise ship off the coast of San Francisco, and he wants them to stay out at sea for some unknown period of time. Look, the liberal hypocrisy here is they want open borders when it's convenient for them, but because it posed a problem to Gavin Newsom that 20 plus people aboard this ship were sick, he didn't want them to come to the shores.
Think about that. If you have 20 people on a ship, their entire universe of people that they are in contact with is the ship.
Correct.
So you bring these 20
Dr.
people
Fauci
out.
from the CDC said if you leave them out on the ship, the last ship that did that, they ended up with 700 people seriously ill with the disease.
All right.
So it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done.
It shouldn't be politicized. This is a world issue,
Yeah,
and I think that the president has to step up and acknowledge it.
And I know that we'll have more conversations about this
Thank
with the
you,
two of you.
Allison.
Thank you so much. Richard Roth, Democratic strategist and partner of the Roth Law Firm, and Jennifer Kearns, contributor of the Daily Caller in the Hill. Thanks for being with us.